Hello everyone and welcome to the first video in my new feature. This is called HorrorCore, and not the game, the feature, but the game I'm playing is F.E.A.R, and the whole idea behind this feature was during October I celebrated Shocktober by, instead of watching horror movies, playing horror video games. But beyond October, I really wanted to play some more horror games because horror is one of my favorite genres. So I wanted to come up with a feature to let me just keep taking a look at some of these games. So I came up with HorrorCore, kind of like hardcore, but horror. So I'm playing F.E.A.R, which is to me kind of reminiscent of what Doom 3 would have been like if it came out in 2006 instead of whenever Doom 3 came out. I want to say like 2003 or something. But it's like if Doom 3 took place in a realistic world. So, right away there's already some stuff happening here. You see some flickering. Ooh, and creepy little girl. So yeah, the F.E.A.R series, this first one came out in 2003 and is became a trilogy of games ending in F.E.A.R 3, and it had kind of a crazy development cycle. There's like a whole history between F.E.A.R 2 and F.E.A.R 3 of like one of them was being made as a different game, and then there was like a legal battle over who owned the name F.E.A.R, and it was like I think it was F.E.A.R 3 was being made as a different game, and they ended up turning it into a F.E.A.R game or something like after the legal battle was disputed. Some of that information's out there, but some of it's kind of hard to find. So as you can see, it is a first-person shooter, and you are shooting like people, and throughout this game, everything kind of runs in kind of like spurts where it switches between some horror elements, and then you're fighting these soldiers elements. It's like a terrorist group, and you're part of the reason it's called F.E.A.R is like you're part of like the first encounter resistance something. First encounter action resistance team or something like that. You're like an anti-terrorist team, basically. So we're after this terrorist named Paxton Fettel, who has like kind of a twisted past, and there's something mysterious about him. And then a lot of the plot revolves around this mysterious little girl named Alma, who kind of keeps appearing. Alright, so the gate's locked. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, it is like a standard third-person shooter, but one of the beefs with this early game, the first one here, is like the way it does kind of move in cycles. Like there's clear sections of, oh, this is the part where you're going to encounter horror stuff and creepy little girl visions and stuff like you saw before, and then it's going to go through the section where you're just shooting dudes, and you know, it kind of just keeps reversing between that. Alright, so right here, this one I'm picking up is a reflex booster. So there's a slow motion mechanic to this game, which I'm trying to remember which button it is, because I can't. Oh shit, that's like the second time I've accidentally thrown a grenade. There's a slow motion mechanic, and I can't remember which button it is. I'm trying to figure out. Alright, it's not tab, not shift. Alright, where am I supposed to go? Oh, I think I have to get up there. See if I can figure out what this slow motion button is. Slow mo control. Alright. The one button I didn't try. Alright, so when I get into a combat situation here, I'll bust that out. So you, like Doom 3, you get a flashlight, except this time you actually get to use a gun at the same time. But yeah, just the first time I played this game, I've always been like a big fan of the F.E.A.R series. Oh, there's some guys over there. So let's see. So yeah, here's my slow motion mechanic here. Which really, like, this is actually one of those games where like a lot of people always find slow motion bullet time mechanics in games kind of cheap, but there's something about this game where they actually really made it work, because like gunfights are very fast moving, and it's so easy to just take a lot of damage, and if you're not using your slow motion, it can become a real problem. Ugh. Yeah, so I want to say it's been a while since I've I'm kind of jumping into a game that I haven't played in a while. I want to say that all these soldiers are like genetically modified, and I'm not sure how much that's explored in this game or the sequel. One thing you do get to kind of help you is some med packs, which I used a minute ago. So you can see my health down there is 82. If I hit my Z button, I got a little boost of health, and you can see I got 4 of them over there. So you get your standard first-person shooter stuff. You get your grenades, your body armor, which I guess body armor is kind of an old-fashioned thing now. You don't really have that in games anymore. I mean, this was right on the cusp of like Call of Duty changing everything, so. Ugh. I'm not even sure if I'm hitting them. Ooh. It's like some real old school gun sound effects here. And you can hold up to 3 guns. So I got my machine gun and my little submachine gun, and then I got some pistols, which you can do wield. I mean, the thing with F.E.A.R. is it was doing... I would say the series was pretty successful. It wasn't like... The 3rd game in particular didn't blow anybody away, but people liked F.E.A.R. 1, but it was kind of that, like, Assassin's Creed thing where it's like, yeah, they liked it, but they didn't love it. And then when F.E.A.R. 2 came out, I feel like everybody kind of got behind F.E.A.R. 2. These games are made by Monolith, who are guys who do first-person horror pretty well. Actually, I don't know if... I think Monolith might have only did the first one. I don't know if they did all 3. I know WB Games published F.E.A.R. 2 and F.E.A.R. 3. I don't know what happened with development for those. I'll have to double-check on that. But yeah. Alright, so this is still pretty early in the game, so they are kind of giving me some tutorial stuff here. So you can hear the guys on the radio. There's people in your team that you're kind of always in contact with and you run into from time to time. But you spend a bulk of the game alone, if not the entire game. And you get little bits of story information from like that laptop I had to walk up to. There's stuff like that. And in F.E.A.R. 2, they definitely bring that out a little more. Oh, yeah, about to say big area. I'm bound to run into some guys here. Oh, I'm wasting it. Throw a grenade. Ugh. These guys are like snipers from far away. I do like the oh jeez. I do really like the particle effects, like the dust effects and stuff. Ooh, looks like somebody got blowed up by one of them grenades. Like, that's something I always like in movies too, how there's like so much dust from these like gunshots. Ooh. I'm always a pistol guy in shooters. I want to use these for a while. This is definitely one of those shooters though where I often go for machine guns just because like the combat is pretty difficult from time to time. And while I do seem to have plenty of ammo now, I definitely remember being times in this game where ammo gets kind of scarce. Like, this is one of those games where it starts off pretty easy. You're just, like, shooting guys and just mowing them down, and combat scenarios are pretty easy, but it definitely gets harder as it goes on. They start introducing giant mech robots and just all sorts of ridiculous stuff. And again, the sequel is something that it's the same situation. Like, the end of this game brings the second one into a point where these horrific things that are happening are not just like visions anymore. Like, there are straight up monsters in the game and stuff, and it's way more intense. F.E.A.R. 2 is honestly one of my favorite first-person shooters. And I don't know, I'm probably nowhere near it, so we probably won't see it in this video. But I know there's a moment in this game, the first time you play it, where it's like you go down a ladder, and as soon as you, like, he does that little turnaround animation, that little girl is just like staring you in the face. and it's like super intense. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, and this is something that happens multiple times throughout the game. Like, your character's plagued with visions and you don't really know why. Alright, so yeah, that's kind of one little section of the game. It's still really early on. I think that was basically the second level. So now we're moving into the third level here. Alright. And one thing about all of the F.E.A.R games is every level, there's always these, like, branching ways to go down, and there's always something hidden. Like, there's these, in this game, there's these little health boosters around, so, when you find those, they increase your full health. So you definitely want to find all those. So that leads you kind of going down all these different corridors. It's kind of expecting something creepy to appear on that. Oh, this game needs a run. She's afraid of you. Ooh. So that's a little glimpse of Paxton Fettel, who we haven't seen since the beginning of the game. You kind of the first level of this game is you chasing him, and then he knocks you out and escapes, and now you're trying to get him back as he's instigated this terrorist attack. So definitely want to pick up as many med kits as you can find, because they're going to be useful. Like, the game gets so crazy hard later on. It's ridiculous. Like, this is one of those games I finished and felt accomplished in the end, just because, like, yeah, it seems pretty easy now, and it is for the most part. And the slow motion stuff definitely helps a lot, but it gets to a point where you don't have a lot of slow motion. I want to say it's like it doesn't recharge that fast when you're in combat scenarios, so you get to points where you're using it a lot. And since you're in a combat scenario, it's not recharging as quickly, and you kind of have to rely on the game as it is. Alright. Man, they're just throwing medkits at me left and right. Yeah, I'm actually full now. Yeah, a lot of these combat scenarios, you can see there's just a lot of dudes around, so... When you're shooting up dust everywhere, it gets hard to keep track of everybody. I wonder if the lack of run was on purpose. I'm sure it was, for just managing the horror in this game. So there's, yeah, a lot of these blinking phones around you, basically like audio logs. You just don't get to take them with you, but you get to listen to voicemails and stuff from people and get a little bit of the story about the environments you're in. Not so much stuff pertaining to the actual plot of the game, but, you know, just little tidbits about the world. Alright, so that just leads me back out there. Hitting some checkpoints here. Alright, so there's definitely going to be a lot of shooting going on here in a second. And these guys will definitely just, like, run up on you. Oh, I'm getting kind of lucky with my shots here. And yeah, body armor, that these guys are actually wearing it, and it actually helps. So that is one thing. Whoa. Oh, I totally forgot there is a jump attack in this game. I should try to hit somebody with that. Whoa. Yeah, you jump and do your melee attack. Oh, that was weird, but I got him. I think it might be a one-hit kill. I'm not sure. It's not really... Oh, I'm almost dead. It's not really worth going to hit somebody with, but if you ever find yourself in this situation, it's pretty fun. Oh, I am so low on ammo. So yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. So definitely a lot of, like, you use one gun until it's completely out of ammo, and then you have to switch to another one. so there's a reflex booster. Increase the amount of reflex I get. Looks like I could have snuck my way over here a little bit. Maybe I was supposed to go that way. Oh, no, door. Definitely a lot of small corridors opening up into big combat scenarios. Like, yeah, the design of the first game, it's very obvious, but it is something that improves over the series. But F.E.A.R 3 is kind of its own mess, so that game is kind of hard to talk about. And I might take a look at that one, but we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not really sure what I did there. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Whoa. Man, fucking old games with their checkpoint saving. Oh yeah, this guy just walked all into it. Nailed him. Ugh. Hit him with the grenade. Get him. Alright, that was cutting it a little close. Oh, that dude just crawled under that thing. Kick. Got him. Sweet jump kick. Instant kill. Whoa. Alright, I automatically picked up that L. Oh, yeah, these are the guys I'm talking about. Oh, you don't want to mess with them. Oh, they got these, like, crazy, like, nail gun things, basically. Oh, I got him. Yeah, that's pretty much how you deal with those guys. So now I can pick up his weapon, actually. Oh, jeez. Oh, these guys are everywhere. Oh, and these guys got a shotgun I can pick up, too. I want to say this gun will nail people to walls, but I can't quite. See if I can find a dude before I call it quits here.
Shit, looks like these fuckers are pulling out. Seeing a substantial mobilization on the satellite.
I'm not gonna go for that health. Right, maybe they don't get nailed to the wall. Okay, yeah, they totally get nailed to the wall. Yeah, now he's nailed to the wall. Yeah, he didn't. So yeah, that's what this gun does. And I think that's what we're gonna call it for this one. This has been F.E.A.R, my first HorrorCore video. If you love horror games, I'm definitely gonna be looking at some more here. I got some lined up, but be sure to check back and hope you enjoyed F.E.A.R. Probably take a look at the other F.E.A.R games, but remember to subscribe, hit that like button, all that good stuff. But thanks for watching.